So I'm here to bring some further clarification about the energies of this month. And I have to confess I've really taken some time for myself over the past week or so, although I have been doing quite a bit of writing. So if you haven't, and I wrote some notes about the energies of September, and they are on my Inner Sanctum NZ Facebook page, which you can find by looking in the notes under this video when it's on YouTube, or by going to my website, which is sharronmartin.com, and Sharron is spelt with 2 R's and Martin is spelt with an I, and there's an icon on the front of that for Facebook and for YouTube, so that's another way of navigating your way around to find me. So there is a lot, and I want to try and get it to you in such a way that is useful and pragmatic, because in fact that is a very big focus for us in this month. So this month of September is a series of completions of small cycles, so lots of cycles starting and finishing, or cycles that have begun already, but we are finishing them off during this month. So just forgive me, I've got notes on the screen, I've got notes in my book, and I'll be reading from them. And so, yep, let's get started. So this month will be full, intense, and we must be prepared. So that's physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. In all of those aspects, we must be prepared this month. And when some of my friends have said to me, what should we do this month? My reaction in response to that has been hunker down, keep a low profile, get prepared. So if you have not already got prepared in terms of having some stocks of staples, some extra supplies of water, some access to what you might need, so maybe, get your gas tank filled up. If you've got a barbecue, then get your gas bottles filled up and exchanged. Get ready as though something may happen where you have to be self-sufficient for a week or so. It may even be a little bit longer than that. It may not happen this month, but we are getting to the edges of the likelihood of a situation that might require you being self-sufficient for a bit. So physically you need to be looking after yourself and your own well-being in terms of what you put in your body, and in terms of making sure you've got some supplies. Be in nature, get exercising, keep your body moving. Those things are important, and nature can help you in terms of shifting energies and being reionizing through getting your feet on the ground. Just in connection with the earth, the sole of the bare feet on the ground can be both grounding and energizing. So it's about our also coming into integration with the earth's energies, and the energies that are coming in this month, in a way, they are super intense, and they keep up leveling. So they are more pressurizing, they are faster, more accelerated, they're more expansive. They're kind of having the effect that we know that the earth has over time on things to become gemstones and diamonds. And that's the effect on us. So we are being squeezed like a very deep pimple, if you like. We're having the bits that are in us, the cellular memory, the cellular residue, the density, we are having it squeezed out of us. We are having it squeezed out of our own personal bodies and cells, and emotional, memory, psychological aspects, right through, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and psychological, to come up, to be released, because we are purifying, as is our planet. So we've been going through periods of that, but it's been very intense with that focus this month. The other thing that's come in is this kind of like a divine support. So a divine support, a divine intervention, whereby we are given extra support through our spines. It's a wherewithal for us to be able to stand in our own power, to stand in our own strength. And that's the place for us to be right now, to be empowered, to stand up straighter and firmer. And that is, in a way, you could say, our way of fighting back. Our way of fighting back is not to push back, but to push up, to stand taller, to be more in our own power, to make decisions that are good for us, that we know are good for us, that we hold dearly and important to self, and to take a stand for those things. And so I would say, you know, do the small things, do lots of small things that fit in with that. Because this is our time to make it known that we are here, we are strong, we are connected and unified, and we will be standing our ground. And so time to just be exercising the muscle of that. In an emotional way, observe your feelings. Don't go rolling around in the story of it. Don't go giving it lots of labels, but observe what arises, because we are in another way, emotionally, we are kind of doing what Gaia called the ring past knot. So you could look that up. It's got a long psychological definition. Or the other thing is, you know, it's the last whirl around the dance floor. That was the other thing that she did. So we're just revisiting the things that are a bit stuck, a bit dense, that have held us in old patterning. And, you know, this releasing the old patterning is a really big theme that will move through forward as well. But at this time, just let's talk about us, the physical individual, and connection in that way. And just know that it's the micro and the macro. So yeah, these things are coming up to be released, and so you might find yourself in old patterns of behavior, old patterns of emotional response, and just observe it, just watch it, just allow it to move through the body in a sensory way, exploring and allowing without getting too caught up in it or giving it too many labels. Just sort of allow it to move and shift and morph, and it'll move out. And then mentally, find ways to be at peace. So find ways to be still in the mind and at peace in your heart. That's the best advice I can give for that. So you can do that through breathing, you can do that through walking in nature, you can do that through meditating, you can do that through dancing, through listening to music. Try a whole lot of ways. Work out what is, you know, the best medicine for you in that regard. And spiritually, get connected. So get connected to your own heart, get connected to your own inner essence. And if that works for you, connect that up to divine essence, to God, to Creator, to the cosmic heart, whatever you might like to label that. Connect into your own divinity and your own spiritual source energy, so that you can stay in that place of knowing that you're held by a greater force than just your own, but it's your own through connection, because you have that power, that essence within as well. And then get connected up socially with other people. If you haven't got connections with people in your neighbourhood, with your direct neighbours, with friends and people around you, then, you know, make an effort to do that, to sort of create groups, create teams. There's a lot of power in being able to come together to support one another through tough times. And this is a tough time. It really is. We are going through a tough time, but we are going to get there, and it will be magnificent. We're just in the tough time of it now, and this month especially. So, you know, yesterday we had this kind of turnaround energy. It was as though I could kind of feel it. It shifted. It's like you could see that we as the collective turned around to look at it and go, no. Or you could look at it that the energies of the earth shifted. And so, you know, both of those have really happened. And I think on the 8th of the month, I got this vision of seeing the earth wrapped in this swirling white and pale to mid blue swirling energy. And when I asked what that was about, it was about purification and the bringing of truth. And those are two very big themes in our month for both us and for the collective and for the planet. And so this is what I wrote. We are in battle for our freedoms, for our rights, and our way of life. And just remember that this is the place where we must take a stand here. We can know that the light wins. But this part may be hard and challenging. We must stick together, support one another, hold hands, form groups with our neighbours, etc. We're going through purification on all levels. And if you haven't already, you know, have a look at what's going on around you, both in the presentation of what's being told and physically on your doorstep. Begin to look for the inconsistencies, begin to look for the incongruencies, for there are many. There are many, you know, things that we've been told that at one point were a fact, and now we're told something that's completely the opposite to that, and that's also called a fact. And begin to look for those things. There are many, many inconsistencies with what we are told, with the rationale for why we are told it, and for the incursion and interruption in our lives and in our behaviours. So you look for where this is trending to, what it is asking us to do, what it's asking for us to change, and start asking yourself, your inner guidance, your intuition, your gut instinct, does this feel right? Because you have to be your own judge of that, your own measure of that. You will know whether it's right for you or not. And what you have to do for that is to get into your centre, get into balance, get out of your mind, and you ask the heart. It will give you the right answers. But there are a lot of incongruencies, inconsistencies. There's a lot of irrelevancies. There's a lot of things that don't match, even when you listen to the rhetoric of the deliverance of decisions. And if you listen carefully to the language of it, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up often. But yeah, just become more critical in your thinking around it. Begin, if you haven't already, to look for those things that don't add up. You know, there are things that are just a stretching of the truth, and there are things that are actually just downright lies. Begin to develop discernment, the ability to know truth and lies, the ways to suspend. So it's also okay to look at something, to hear it, and to not know whether it's a truth or a lie, and to just suspend your judgment about that. Just put it aside. It will come, it will arise, you'll know. There's a lot of information, misinformation, disinformation. It's overwhelming. We won't know the truth or the not truth for all of it. And it's okay. It's okay to not know. We can just put it in the basket of, well, yeah, okay, it's that. We'll see. It'll turn up. We've been inundated with this information, but we will get through this time. Other notes I wrote were the swirling energies on the entire planetary surface, creating movement of release of what no longer serves us, this coming up from the ground and out of our bodies, revealing the densities, the lies, the patterns, the programs that have held us in deceit and limitation. So this is not just over these last 18 months, this is over the last 200 to 2,000 years. We are attending to the programs, the lies, the deceits, the infiltration through systems in all ways on our planet. We're going to go through this process where we are going to look at each of them in turn, and we will make decisions And we'll begin to do the edges of that now, and we will do that over the next few years probably, where we'll be having a really good look at those things and asking ourselves, does that serve us? Does it not serve us? Do we toss the whole thing out and start again, or do we do some modifications? And really getting into big analysis around our bigger picture structures and systems, both on a national and an international field. So just keep that in the back of your mind. We don't have to do too much of that at the moment. This is very much looking at it from an individual, personal, familial, community level this month. So yes, I wrote, they will be coming up, these lies will be coming up to be seen, witnessed, observed, shifted, repelled and released. We will learn many things about ourselves, about our systems and our structures during this month. And then we can move on to analyse and decide that very thing I just said. Does it serve? And as we begin the process of evaluation and analysis of all of this, we will ask, what is it? Does it meet our needs? Will we keep it, modify it, or completely replace it? Let me see. So we have to hold on to what is good and what is divine. Hold a high vibration. So this aspect of fear is a very low vibration. There's a lot of deliberate, intentional putting out of statements and decrees that are all about inducing fear, and fear keeps us in lower vibration. So the more that you can shift out of fear, the more easily it is for you to hold a higher vibration. And really, the easiest thing to do is to move from fear to love, because love is a high vibration. It's not necessarily the highest, but it is a high vibration, and that is one that we can shift. And you shift it by shifting your focus. You shift it by being with what is right now in this moment. How am I feeling? Not tipping into the future. You stay present with this moment. What am I feeling in my body, and what do I need to be shifting? Hand on the heart, breathing in behind here, feet out in nature. Observe children playing, animals playing, all of those things. Just do what you can to shift it. Be responsible and accountable for your own vibration and shift that up. Hunker down, get prepared. I wrote, this is like day 4 in a detox program. That's what this month is like. So day 4 in the detox program is where you are in pain in your organs as your body has released a lot of the excess, and you're down to the toxins from caffeine, especially things like caffeine. Those types of toxins in your body, that's what you hit on day 4. And having been a coffee drinker and having done some detoxes in my life, it's excruciatingly painful. And so I laughed when Gaia gave me that as an analogy for the month, that it's like day 4 in a detox program. Drinking a lot of water is a good thing for us to do this month as well. So it could feel intense, and it could feel like we're being poisoned and in pain. So get informed, become aware, watch the skies. That's another thing. If you don't know about geoengineering and chemtrails, do a bit of research around that. There's still quite a bit of that going on. There's quite a lot of weather manipulation going on around the world, not just in New Zealand, around the world. Yeah, so just note the weather patterns and note the interferences. It's just another way of manipulating us. It's time for us to really be seeing all of these things. Look with your eyes. Are we really in a pandemic? No, we are in a time of great change and revelation, and we must stand in our power. Be empowered to see the truth, to demand the truth, to be in truth on all levels. So as we discern this in our own lives and our world, we will make new decisions, and we'll begin to form our new earth and our new way of being. What is the real reason for this fight, for this division? What has happened to your life, to that of friends and family and loved ones? Have a look at that. It's time to find those friends and make amends. You know, if there's been these gaps that have been created through the decisions that people have made. You know, we are all connected. There's strong love strandings between the people that you know and care for, and one or two decisions made does not have to end a relationship or a friendship. Begin reviewing it. It's the game. We've been in a game. The game's over, remember? Remember, Gaia said the game is over. We're in the part of the game that's like the aftermatch function, where everyone's scrapping on the sidelines and, you know, things are being turned upside down, and we will soon be into the kind of clean-up aspect of that. And ask yourself questions, gauge it by asking things like this. Does this bring me more or less freedom? Does this bring more or less constrictions? Does this make me more or less confused? Do I gain greater or lesser clarity with this? Am I being led somewhere where I want to go? Or am I being led somewhere I don't want to go? Ask yourself those questions. Look for where it is that you're being pushed to or pulled to or trended towards. This has been a bid for a takeover and a test for humanity. And it's an opportunity for awakening. You've got no idea how much that excites me. So we're on the edges of the collective of humanity awakening. These are not little tinkles of drops of possibilities coming from the heavens. This is in the physical, tangible world now. The collective is beginning to awaken. That is the group that is the largest group, and it will make a difference. That's why there are all sorts of extra pressures being put on. So this month, that group is gaining momentum, and that will be the turnaround. Yesterday morning in the cave with Gaia, what I saw was there was this huge, this was the analogy, there was this huge orchestra setting up. So they were setting up their instruments, they were readjusting their music note stands, and they were, you know, blasting out little twits and notes from their instruments. And what Gaia said was the symphony is preparing to play the crescendo. So that's where we're at in Gaia's world. And, you know, we've gone through quite a lot of birthing cycles, and we're going through another little mini one at the moment. But it's intense, and it's going to bring a lot of fruition. As we move through this balance part of the month, so that was the 15th, that was kind of like the midpoint of the month, we'll close off this cycle, and then the other mini cycles, a few more to go through until the end of the month. We're turning around, the veil is tearing, we're receiving greater illumination, lighting the dark, bringing the shadow into the light, truth being exposed and revealed both from the internal of self and from the planet. We're under pressure, compression, there's been an increase in torque. It's a little bit like the ship turning. That's the place we're in. We're in the turning of the ship to go back in the other direction. It's designed to create pushback, eruption, disruption, and turnaround, these energies. Take a load off hunker down, be a little reclusive, be the observer and smile. It's going to start to take a different flavour in a way. We've still got a bit to go through, but just be aware that this is the really intense month. That this is the month where we're really pressured to look, to awaken, and to see truth. So I wish you so much love from my heart. I wish you so much clarity. These energies that are coming through are helping us to see truth and giving us strength in our spines to stand up and be counted, and make connections with your neighbours. Get prepared. We may be, having to hunker down a little bit in more than just a metaphorical way. There might be bigger things that are happening around us that we want to avoid energetically as well, and make those small movements that are around standing in your own power. And the more that you make some of those small movements, the more other people will be empowered too, and the more of that happens, then the group of the people who are saying, well, no, we're not prepared to do that anymore, will get bigger. Anyway, it's exciting in that, we're beginning to undo 2,000 years of programming and 200 years of very strong programming and infiltration. And there's a lot for us to learn and a lot for us to know, but we're on our way with it, and that's exciting. And we know where we're headed. And so in a way, you look at what's going on around you and you keep your focus on where you are headed. And where we are headed is to this whole creation of our new earth, this beautiful golden light we've watched, or I've watched anyway. This month, or prior to this month, there was like a golden halo forming around the planet, and it began to get more saturated, and then that's been dropping down over us. It's created like this sandwiching effect of fifth dimensional energy coming down into our third dimensional energy, which has created this compression, this compaction, this intensity. But it's all designed to merge the dimensions so that we can be opened up to higher dimensional frequency and energy. It's really been exhausting. And so go gently with your bodies, feed and nutrient your body well, get a lot of hydration into it by drinking good quality water. And what was the other thing I wanted to say to you? Just keep your kind of focus on where we're headed, because we are going to be dreaming up, energetically co-creating our new earth, our new way of being, and we don't have to know all of it. We'll do it collectively, but what we do want to be doing in our own right is exploring how we might want to feel in that world. So get practiced at feeling into your body. What does it feel like when you feel so in love with yourself, so in love with your environment, so in love with your partner, your child, your lover? What does it feel like? Really drop into the beauty and the magic of that, because that's the magic dust that we can spread around a little bit, sprinkle it out everywhere else when we're in that place. Anyway, I'm sure that there were other things that I wanted to say, but the other thing was, I don't know if I've ever mentioned to you about the beautiful analogy that Gaia has spoken of about there being, the world, and then all of these little holes, and the meerkats going doop, 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 all around the place, and that's kind of the analogy of how the truth will come out and is coming out. So we are seeing it from all different places of the world through a lot of different forums and systems, but it will come together, and it is starting to be unraveled. And so look out for that. Where is that trending us to? So I wish you so much love from my heart and from the heart of Gaia. And You must know she holds us so dearly and so lovingly. See you again soon.